everyone, I'm Amanda from Mandy Lynn Plans. Welcome back to another plan with me. Today we are setting up my new Hobonichi cousin Avec. I have the 2-book system, so I have a book for January to June and a book for July to December, and today we are going to be using some planner setup items from our shop to set up this new planner. I'm going to be setting it up almost identical to my current planner. I can't believe that we are already at this point of the year. I like to get set up done as early in June as I possibly can so that whenever July rolls around, it's all ready to go. Here I have some items from our shop. So I have a small and large set of labels. Everything you see here is the Summer Bouquet colorway. I really like how this colorway looks with my leather cover that you saw earlier. So the large I use for the weekly, and then the small I use for the monthly section. I don't have my daily section. Then we have the stickers for the year at a glance page. For that section, I also have some notes pages. I'll show you how to use those soon. And then for the yearly index, I have the date strips and also the month cover strips. So the only thing that I have done to this planner so far is put a 2024 die cut on. These were on sale for $2 Tuesday. If you have a new book to set up like me, hopefully you grabbed one. If not, they are still available in the shop. We're gonna start here with the year at a glance pages. These larger stickers here are designed for the left side of the page, and then these smaller ones are designed to be just little monthly headers for you. I am not going to use these little headers. I'm going to use these notes pages instead. So I'm going to use the top one to cover up this 2023 section. Now these have the journal months of the year, so it says January, February, March, April, etc. And I am just going to do my best to make it straight. There aren't really grids here, just like that. And then we're going to use this notes one to cover up the 2025 calendar. I don't typically use these little calendars in my planner, so it's nice to be able to cover them up with stickers. The little stickers here just go right over what's printed there to cover up the Japanese and the month number. So I do pretty well remembering, January is 1. through maybe March is 3, and then maybe starting in April I have to start counting to remember what month number it is. So I really like to be able to swap it out so that it says January, February, etc. This is the Avec, as I mentioned before, and there isn't an English option for the Avec. If you have an English cousin, then you might not need these fun colored labels. Of course, if you want fun colored labels, you can put them on top. But they do actually say January, February, March, etc. already in the English version. I would love an English Avec version, but I don't know that that's going to be coming anytime soon. So there are all 12 months. In the past, some years I have run the functional colorway washi tape rolls across to just cover up some more of that. But for now, this is where I'm going to leave my year at a glance spread. Then flipping to the yearly index, since this is the Avec, it starts with July. So make sure you grab the strip that says July and put that down first. Then we'll grab October, just like that. And then we can flip and then do January. So this is January of 2025. And then the one starting with April. Then I also like to put the matching colors down at the bottom. In the past, I've used this section for birthdays or other important events. You do have some dot stickers. If you did use these note pages, you have plenty more, so you could put on several if you needed to for each color. So just to kind of show you a little bit how you can use it here. The other thing that's included on these are the little check strips. So in this planner, there's already 3 little printed check boxes, but I wanted them to match the colors. So we have like an ombre going on these stickers. So you can just swap those out so that it all matches. Just like that, and then we can go back and do the other 6 months as well. So those are in, and then we have these last 2 strips, just like this. So everything is tied together except for these gray and red squares that the Hobonichi does for the weekends and Japanese holidays. But don't worry, if you are like me and you don't love that, we do have strips to cover those up. This is the academic year, so half of 2024, the beginning of 2025. And if you are using the A5, then it will have a couple extra months. So make sure you start on the correct month. They are labeled up at the top. So we want to start with the July 24 strip. We're going to skip the June. The A6 planners have some extra months in them. So they are just going to cover up what is printed there, and it's really nice because then you have the day of the week. Here next to one, there's this Japanese symbol, and if you don't know Japanese like me, then you have no idea what day of the week that is unless you figure out where your weekends are and count backwards. So we have printed them on for you so you know exactly which day of the week it is, and it also covers up those colored boxes. Okay, so there are those 6 months, and we will flip and do this 6 months. Okay, just like that. And like I said, you will have a couple extra if you have the cousin. So those are the yearly spreads, and now we can do the tabs. This can be really tricky. So I have a couple of tips for you. I'm not going to tab the June monthly. I'm just going to start with the July. And I like to use the small tabs for the monthly section and the large tabs for the weekly section. So I'm going to grab the July tab. Now you'll notice that I pulled from the top straight down. If I was to pull at an angle, actually I'll show you with one of the blank ones. I don't ever use my blank ones. If you're not careful, you will rip the middle because we have it kind of perforated for you so that it's easier to fold. So whenever you pull your tabs off, you're going to want to pull directly towards you from top to bottom. And like I said, it makes the fold really easy that way. These are polyester weatherproof tabs. They have held up great in my current planner and the previous year. It is a great addition to my planner. So the way these work, you can see that there's a little section that kind of goes in, and then the flaps are longer. We are going to line it up to where the edge of the paper is at the top of that flap. And I'll show you what I mean here soon. Okay, so hopefully you can tell where the edge of the paper is and where the end of that tab meets up. Did my best to line it up. Now I'm going to try and fold it just enough to get the fold creased a little bit, and then I'm going to apply even pressure so that it connects equally. If I had too much pressure on one side, you might get it to be off-centered and you might see some of the sticky on the edge. We don't want that. We want to apply even pressure all the way down so that it matches up perfectly. Then we're going to keep moving down the months. So for August, now we have a guide. I'm going to use July as my guide. I am going to put it to where there's not a gap. Here you can see that there's not a gap. You can't see my table behind it. If I was to scooch it over, you could see a gap where you can see my table. So I don't want there to be a gap, so I'm going to try and lining it up next to the July tab and also lining up to the edge of the paper like we did before. So I think right there is where we want to be. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to carefully take it off my finger so I don't rip it. I am going to crease it slightly just to get that crease going. And then I'm going to apply even pressure to connect to where it is perfectly lined up on both sides. So then again, I'm going to pull my tab, making sure that I don't rip that center, lining it up the same way, applying even pressure. I'm going to continue to do this for the rest of my monthly sections until I get to December. Just like that. Now, if you wanted to, of course, you could go ahead and tab your January. I don't like to have those extra tabs. Just the 6 months that the planner is for. So now I'm going to keep these for my next year's book if I choose to continue with the Summer Bouquet colorway. Now we're going to move to the large tabs. And here we have July starting on a Monday. January also started on a Monday, so how perfect is that? Both Avec books starting on a Monday. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start again with the July tab here. So carefully peeling that off. I am going to leave just a little bit of space here between my December and my January tab, but I'm going to line it up the same way. The large tabs and the small tabs work the same with even pressure. There we go. Now we're no longer tabbing every single page. We're going to go and find the August 1 weekly spread. So here it is. So grabbing my August tab, lining it up, even pressure, just like that. And I'm going to continue through December, just like that. And again, I could go ahead and tab January if I wanted, but instead I'm going to save these 6 for my next Avec book. So there you can see all my tabs lined up on the side. I have the small for the monthly section, the large for the weekly section. I could also tab the daily section if I wanted to. I have done that in the past, but I find myself using these tabs the most. Have you started setting up your new Avec book, or are you moving to an academic year planner? Let me know in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.